Okay, welcome. And I'm streaming this everywhere. Yeah, it helps to unmute myself, so that's great. Okay, I get asked the question a lot uh, of how many clients am I going to get once we start things up? And it's the wrong way to ask that question because I get into the two pillars of growth. And when you're growing, building a practice, there's the front end and the back end. Think of your sales funnel. What's at the top of the sales funnel? It is generating awareness, then interest, getting on a call. Downstream the funnel is then taking action, obviously closing somebody, moving them through the pipeline, getting them to give referrals and becoming your advocate. So what we're focused on is top of the sales funnel stuff. And when I'm working with a, executive coach, a Vistage chair, the back end is where they are stepping in. So on the front end, you're planting seeds in order to reap the benefits of the harvest. I love that. A Vistage chair dialed me into that analogy. I keep using it, love it. But on the front end, the planting the seeds are all the things you're doing to at the top of the funnel. You're doing LinkedIn webinars to engage, build authority. You're having email campaigns going on, guiding, teaching, helping. You've got connections going out, building up your community. Just getting people aware of you. And then as people come into your touch point ecosystem there, then the client's taken over and it's the back end process of booking the phone call, obviously getting on the call, and then moving somebody through the pipeline. And I ask the question, I throw it back and say, "Hey, well, how many clients am I going to get?" I say, well, how was your closing process? And how are you on the phone? Do you have a call to action? Is it airtight? And what is your sales cycle? Right? Because we all have a sales cycle. Every industry is different. I know what mine is. Executive coaches and Vistage chairs and other firms I'm working with, we always figure out what is your selling cycle. And I'll use Vistage as an example. So I work with a lot of chairs, and it is I've been told by people at Vistage leadership, and I ask, what is the average selling cycle? 90 to 120 days. So I say, okay, on the front end, whoever's doing the front end stuff, you can measure all that stuff. Email open rates. Are people connecting with you on LinkedIn? Are they responding? Are people attending the webinars that you're doing? You can see that stuff. Are they seeing the content to generate awareness? Are people checking it out? Are you getting it in front of people in the right way? So you can measure all the front end stuff. There is no mystery on what's going on there. On the back end, uh, it is, when you're doing it yourself and handling the back end, people don't typically measure their results or think about how many calls does it take to get to the next level, how many discussions to get somebody as a new client, blah, blah, blah. But you got to think about your selling cycle. And so as people come into your pipeline, I say, okay, well, is your selling cycle 90 or 120 days? Because now you have leads coming in. How are you handling the back end? And even, and even though we're not getting on the calls for people and, moving people through the pipeline in the back end, I am very much dialed into that process. I do it for myself, my businesses. So I want to make sure that back end is airtight. And some people have a handle on that better than others, and not many people are natural salespeople and understand all the nuance of that. So there's a lot that goes in to the back end on every step of the way, and I get so nuanced with every step on the back end. For example, when somebody connects with you on LinkedIn, you want to get them on a Zoom, right? Never a phone call, a Zoom. You got to do video wherever you can. So stop. How do you get somebody on a Zoom? I just go crazy with using all the tricks and tools and strategies just to get somebody on a Zoom call. There's the LinkedIn video that you can send on your mobile app, your mobile LinkedIn app. Most people don't even know they have this feature. You can send a video once somebody connects with you, mobile app. It is awesome, that feature. And if you use the proper agenda and calendar links and set it up all right, my conversions to Zoom meetings skyrocketed when I started using the LinkedIn mobile messaging feature. Next level are video tools like BombBomb, which integrates with LinkedIn. You can send a message on your desktop to a connection, and BombBomb shows up in the LinkedIn message platform when you connect it. Same with Calendly, which is your calendar app. It also integrates with LinkedIn. So you can send just a killer message inside LinkedIn on your desktop messaging using BombBomb, record a video right there, and attach your calendar link. And you do that the right way. You share the prospects or whoever you want to talk to, you share their LinkedIn screen while you shoot the video. So when they get it, there's an animated GIF that shows up, and it's your face with their LinkedIn profile. It's moving around. It's insane, and people click on it every single time to listen to the message. And now they hear your voice, and now they see you. You have a nice haircut. I just came from a workout, so this doesn't count, but you get the point. And so it's just a great strategy. So my point is, on the back end, make sure the front and the back end are integrated. They're working together. If one or the other isn't working, the whole thing falls apart. But on the back end, you got to pay attention to every step of the way. Booking somebody on a Zoom, just getting them on that. Then once you get them on a Zoom, what is your airtight agenda that you're going through on that Zoom? What are you saying? You've got to take control of the conversation. You've got to guide the conversation to the end result that you want to get. Maybe that sounds intuitive, but it's got to be airtight. And there's an art and a science to that, where you're not seeming like you're shoving this along and pushing it along, but you just got a smooth process down. But in your mind, you know exactly what needs to happen at the end of that first call. And if you get there and that thing happens, you win. That's a battle. You haven't won the war, but you win. Mission accomplished. You're not going to sign up somebody as a client on that first call, but you close them on the next step. That's the way you got to think about it. Awesome. Be happy. Now, and never get off that phone call with nothing happening, nothing set in stone going forward. And there's just is so much to talk about there. What you say on that call, what is your call to action? If it's too long of a time frame, it can kill it. If you're asking them to do too much to go through the process, hey, you got to do all these things to move along, you potentially can kill it. People are busy, so you got to make it as seamless as possible for them to go through the process, to learn more and be strategic. What do you want to show them? And things like, you hang up that first call, what do you do? Now you have the next thing set, but in the meantime, is there something you can text them or send them to further the rapport building? Maybe you have a killer video or podcast episode you did on a topic that's relevant to them. Maybe you're even talking about it, and you hang up. Hey, Sally, wanted to send you this short podcast. You pull it from your Spotify or iTunes over here. You're continuing to position yourself as someone is unique just by doing that. But my point is, you do something afterwards. Keep just wowing them along the way, and then your next step, your next step, your next step. So takeaway here, front and back's got to be cohesive, tied together, and nuanced. Know your sales funnel. And like a client of mine says to me, we had this conversation, another saying I love is win the process. Win the process, and everything happens. All right, thanks, appreciate you listening.